On October 29th, Governor Jay Nixon selected David D. Kerr as the new director of the Missouri Department of Economic Development. In his new position, Kerr will lead Governor Nixon's efforts to attract and retain jobs in Missouri.
In addition to having a long history in the private sector, I spent 28 years with the old SBC and new AT&T. I also had engagement and involvement with economic development at the time because I served as the chairman of the Topeka Chamber of Commerce, and actually during the same year I was also the chairman of the Kansas Chamber of Commerce. As a result of both my business background as well as my involvement with those two organizations, Governor Sebelius at that time asked me if I would consider a career change, so I moved over to be the Secretary of Commerce for the state of Kansas. So I believe that with my background and from the business world, 28 years with one of the best companies in the United States, as well as my involvement with both the local chamber as well as the state chamber, it certainly gave me a vision and a view in terms of the types of things that really are important to businesses and what's important in terms of businesses when they make a decision in terms of expansion or relocation to a state.
Job creation has been the top priority of Governor Nixon since taking office in January. The Department of Economic Development is the agency tasked with overseeing a variety of state programs and services designed to assist with job creation and retention. The department will lead the effort in helping build a robust economic climate in the state of Missouri.
Well, certainly I think you have to take a look at business as the driver of your economy, and not only the economy but also the funding of your state budget. And in these tough times, the bottom is we want to put people back to work, and to put people back to work you have to create jobs. So I think that we need to be very focused and very strategic in terms of how we address that. First and foremost, I think we need to focus on the Missouri businesses. We need to make sure that we understand that we have Missouri businesses here that want to stay here and they want to expand. You know, in the sales world, you always say that for every business that you lose or every account you lose, you have to find two new businesses or two new accounts to make up for that. So certainly we want to leverage the current businesses we have in Missouri. We want to make sure we give them an opportunity to stay in Missouri, and we want to give them the opportunity to expand when it's time for them to expand. We likewise want to look for opportunities to recruit new businesses to the states. We want to grow that base. Again, you put people back to work by making sure that we have opportunities for existing businesses to grow and that we facilitate the infusion of new jobs in the state. Secondly, I think we need to focus on the workforce. When you work in the economic development line of business, you certainly understand that businesses have a key component or they have a key metrics they have to meet before they make that decision in terms of whether they expand or whether they relocate to a state. And that is the workforce. They're going to ask the questions in terms of, do you have a workforce, in terms of workforce supply? They want to know whether you have a skilled workforce. And even if you have a skilled workforce, they want to know whether you have the capabilities to retrain workers that may need additional training. So workforce is an issue nationally. It's not just an issue in the Midwest or just in Missouri, but it's nationally. And it's the state that has the capacity to address that skilled workforce issue that's going to be successful in expanding their economy as they move forward. We also want to take a look at the international picture in terms of international trade. We want to find new markets for Missouri products and services. At the same time, when we're over there in foreign countries and offshores, we also want to make sure that we identify opportunities for new investment within the state of Missouri. We want to look for new opportunities for the creation of jobs as well as the investment of capital. And thirdly, and lastly, and most equally as important, is we want to make sure that we look to community development. We're very fortunate to have access to federal funds on an annual basis in the neighborhood of $24 to $25 million for community development block grants. And those are block grants to help communities upgrade their facilities, their infrastructure, whether that be sewers or water lines, whether that be their schools or hospitals, whether that be their fire departments. So we want to make sure that we pay attention to our local communities because the communities are in fact the lifeline. They are the heart and they are the soul of our tradition, of our history, and of our heritage.